Hello guys, welcome to the Cozy Corner. Today we're playing some more Sonic 3 Complete. We're doing our second run here as Knuckles. As with most of the games in this style, I did my main commentary there with the main character Sonic. So I'm just going to do sort of starter commentary on the first level, talk about the character and some changes overall, and then you can just enjoy watching. So, as far as the options are changed, one thing I did do with this run in comparison to the first run, I did not change the level order to move Flying Battery after Carnival Night Zone. The reason I did that was, one, for a little bit of variety, and two, because it actually makes more sense for Knuckles to teleport to Ice Cap. He wasn't... Even though Flying Battery was initially intended to be the level after Carnival Night, Knuckles was never actually intended to go there. Hence why, even in the regular game, when you do Flying Battery with Knuckles, they don't even have a Robotnik, like, piloting the boss. Like, they never even thought of it, or they ran out of time, or the other. But, yep. Let's get ourselves all set up here, and let's play as Knuckles. So, for the one or two people not familiar with this game, oh, here's a nice thing. They added the intro cutscene from Sonic and Knuckles into the complete version. So he gets the little bomb scene he'd usually get in Mushroom Hill. But it's in Angel Island. Anywho. So, Knuckles. What makes Knuckles different? Well, he's not as fast, and he can't jump as high. Good start. But he has a glide ability, which is pretty useful. He can also latch onto walls and climb up and down. And he can break through, rocks and walls and stuff like that, a lot of times without even needing to spin dash. The big thing with Knuckles is that he has a completely different set of routes he goes through compared to Sonic and Tails. So like with Tails, you can fly or swim, and that allows you to have easier access to higher routes. But there's still the same set of routes that Sonic still has access to, whereas Knuckles has routes that are ones that only he can do, and they end up being quite different. For instance, since I'm just doing the commentary for this level, just talking ahead here, Carnival Night is an extremely short stage for Knuckles, because, you know, he's the one causing all the trouble in that level. He pretty much just kind of runs right through it. There isn't even a second act boss in that stage. There also isn't a second act boss in Lava Reef. In Marble Garden, because he doesn't have Tails to carry him, he has a completely different boss he fights. And also in Launch Base, he fights the boss, and the boss is in a different location. So there's all kinds of changes like that. Just like Sonic, Knuckles can get 7 Chaos Emeralds to go into a super form. It makes him faster, gives him an after image. He glides faster, and he climbs a lot faster. And he can also go hyper if you get 14 emeralds by the time, before you get to the Hidden Palace stage. Oh my gosh, Knuckles. Knuckles also has a completely different finale to the game. So he the way the progress of the game works is Knuckles is kind of ahead of Sonic and Tails most of the way. Like, he's got shorter levels, pretty much, so he's always ahead of them. And then at some point, after he gets shocked and he lets him ahead, Sky Sanctuary ends up taking place after the end of Sonic and Tails game. And he has a completely different final boss, and he doesn't go to the Death Egg Zone because it's already defeated by the time you're playing his version of Sky Sanctuary. So, yeah, it's a pretty different experience to play as Knuckles. So, he's definitely warranted to play through, more than Tails. Though playing as Tails is always fun, Knuckles is definitely like his own second little game here. He can only get 2 giant rings in the first stage here because of the way his route changes from Sonic and Tails. So if you want to get Super Knuckles as quickly as possible, you got to do the 2 giant rings here, 4 of them in Hydrocity Zone, and 1 at the beginning of Marble Garden, and then you can go Super Knuckles. And since I literally just did this with Sonic, the Blue Sphere game is very familiar and easy to me at this point. I think I had to retry 1 stage. I think it was stage 4? The white and red checkerboard one. I think that's the only one I had to retry. And here we go, 2 Chaos Emeralds. Continuing Act 1 here. Let's see, I think we're about at a point where we're going to diverge. And I think just for the heck of it, I decided to take the lower route here. I mean, Knuckles is pretty much always taking the lower route. He's like, there's a lot of levels where he's ended up going underground and stuff like that. Which makes sense, he knows the island best. So that's why he knows where the teleporter to Ice Cap Zone is and all that kind of stuff. Apparently on the Japanese manual, it says that he's lived here all his life. Which is why he believes Eggman right away, because he's really naive. There's not a lot of people. Though it makes me wonder what the hell Carnival Night Zone is if there aren't a lot of people here. Because that's sure, what's the point of it? You know what I mean? Also, I almost die here because his jump's so short. It's so weird. Here we see him breaking through rocks to get to a different route. And here's a case of us fighting the same boss, but in a different location. And I don't know. I don't think the boss uses this missile attack in when I was fighting with Sonic and Tails. At least I didn't notice it. So Knuckles might have a couple tougher bosses along the way. I don't know if he's intended to be a harder route. His route is shorter, but it might be a little tougher. Except for the... Well, you know, the final boss in Sonic's route is not that hard. Neither Doomsday nor Death Egg. They're not really tough. Honestly, I think the Sonic 3 final boss is harder than the Sonic and Knuckles final boss. Simply because, like, he can hurt you even when you're super. Knock you right out of it. So, climbing allows you to be impatient and stop waiting on the platforms a bit. I kind of like the feeling of the glide and the climb and, like, this kind of how you stick your landing and stuff. Knuckles is pretty fun to play as. And I failed to get on the platform here by going into a bonus stage. Which I really don't have any investment in going to the bonus stage right now because those rings aren't going to do anything but give me points, which I don't really care about. It's one thing when I can go super, yeah, it's a great bonus stage. When I can't, the rings aren't doing me that much good. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it here, but I'm going to try a couple times, I think. Move on. There we go. You can hurt enemies with the glide, but you gotta be careful about which kind of enemies you're running into with it. Right into the spikes. What a brilliant maneuver. Also, his edge pose is pretty good. I kind of wish Knuckles had some different music when he goes on to his own routes in the stages. That'd be kind of cool. Like there's a slight remix to the stage music. I'd be down for that. And it's boss time. As you can see, it is a Robotnik in the pilot seat. Because right now, well, I say Robotnik, but I'm thinking Robo Eggman, I guess would be the proper name. Because at this point, he doesn't think that Eggman is his enemy. He thinks Sonic is his enemy here to steal the Master Emerald. So, yeah, some real deep Sonic lore there. Now, why he doesn't seem to recognize that these robots that look exactly like the guy who told him this crap are attacking him, well, it's Knuckles. Old Knucklehead. So a lot of the transitions and stuff are different because, well, Knuckles isn't tricking himself here, he's just taking a leap.